Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
We begin tonight with breaking news as police are still looking for a robber, maybe two, in West Fargo. It was about 90 minutes ago that the Jimmy John's in West Fargo was held up. There's been a lot of activity around that area, so let's go to Valley News Team's Katie Opperly, who joins us live from the scene with the latest. Katie?
Mike, I am here outside of the Jimmy John's. That's off of 23rd Avenue South and just across the street from Costco in West Fargo. The scene cleared just moments ago, but we were able to talk to police right before they left. They said they can't tell us much at this time because it is an active investigation. But what they can tell us is that no one was hurt, and they also told us that no one is in custody. We were able to see other law enforcement earlier this evening combing through nearby neighborhoods. They were seen over by Freedom Elementary and also just south of Costco. We were also told that the Sheriff's Department and the K9 units were on scene. We will continue to gather this information, but we are told that they won't have anything more for us at this time. They tell us that we will have more information by the morning at the very latest. For now, reporting live in West Fargo, Katie Opperly, Valley News Live.
Thanks, Katie. And of course, you can stay up to date on this story as well on valleynewslive.com or the VNL News app. The storms we've had the past couple of days have really done a number on buildings around the region. And while it may not be obvious at first, it's your best interest to check the roof for damage. If you don't, you could face trouble down the road. Valley News Team's Katie Opperly asks expert what homeowners should be doing now that the rain and the wind have moved on.
Local home inspectors in the Fargo area warn that severe weather can wreak havoc on your home.
What we see most often is wind damage. That's kind of the most widespread thing we see, and that can be wind damage to the building materials themselves, such as torn or missing shingles that have been lifted up. Debris that might hit the building from branches that blew off.
Lewis says roof damage is the most common, whether that be from strong winds or hail. After a storm rolls through, it's important to check on your roof because if your shingles come loose or come off, that can result in future leaks or further damage.
Water in buildings are mortal enemies. Anytime you get water into a building, it's going to cause, you can have mold, mildew issues, water damage to the finished materials inside, or even water damage to things you have stored inside the house.
Being proactive can stop more damage from happening.
Most of the time you can see the roof from the ground. You don't even need to get up on the roof to see wind damage. Most of the time you can take a good pair of binoculars, walk around, and just anything that looks abnormal or out of place, if it looks like there's an area where the shingles have moved or there might be a missing patch of shingles, that's a good time to have an expert come out.
You can also check that roof turbines and equipment haven't come loose. Lewis recommends while you walk around your home, make sure that your gutters are clear and pointing water away from your home. He says another common problem after storms is water pooling around your house. In Fargo, Katie Opperly, Valley News Live.
If you do have damage to your roof siding or have water pooling around the home, it is recommended that you act fast and call a licensed professional. Grand Forks will have a new mayor. Voters have elected a political newcomer in Brandon Bochenski. The real estate developer has defeated longtime incumbent Michael Brown. Here are the results. Bochenski getting 50% of the vote, or 5,663. Brown with 32%, or 3,630. On the statewide ballot in North Dakota, the high-profile race involves two lawmakers from the Valley seeking the Republican support in November for the race for treasurer. And it remains very close, very, very close. With 68% of the vote counted, Representative Thomas Beadle of Fargo is leading over Representative Daniel Johnston of Catherine, 52% to 47%. Beadle has been endorsed by Governor Doug Burgum, Johnston endorsed by President Trump. For complete results from today's June primary, go to valleynewslive.com or the VNL News app. For the first time, long-term care facilities in the FM area are releasing the number of COVID-19 deaths that they've had. Eventide says 6 people died at one of its Fargo locations, but its Moorhead facility had 15 deaths. Eventide says the high death count was due to a lag of testing by the Minnesota Department of Health. The numbers were released as part of a push by the Trump administration to make nursing homes more transparent. But we learned some of the federal data is inaccurate.
We feel this is an urgent matter because inaccurate data can create a lot of unnecessary fear and panic for residents and family members during this time of a global pandemic.
Villa Maria is reporting 15 deaths. Rosewood is at 7, according to SMP Health System. Bethany at 42nd had 2 deaths, while Bethany on University had 4. Former Fargo Police Deputy Chief Todd Osmondson issued an apology this morning after he was quoted in a local article accusing Fargo Police of having a built-in bias against people of color. Osmondson also went on to debunk claims made Monday afternoon by Black Lives Matter organizers who said that Fargo Police conducted illegal black ops surveillance during the May 30th protest and riot.
The headline should have been, former DC Todd Osmondson has built-in bias against people of color. I threw our whole team under the bus. That was wrong, and I apologize to them.
Osmond says despite the situation, he still has nothing but love and support for the Fargo Police Department and says what he was quoted saying was simply venting. Fargo Police are asking for your help in finding a 16-year-old girl. Gabriela Samiego was reported as a missing or runaway juvenile on June 1st. She is 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighs approximately 255 pounds. She has brown eyes and brown hair. If you have any information on her whereabouts, call dispatch. The phone number is on your screen, 701-451-7660. College students often have a lot to say when it comes to politics, but what happens on campus isn't strictly up to them. The North Dakota State Board of Higher Education has approved a new student political rights policy that focuses on things that cover student political activities and electioneering. The guidelines in the previous policy were more applicable to state employees, such as use of campus facilities and freedom of expression. The new policy was created to clearly outline students' political rights. The policy addresses the use of state funds in which students can use to host debates and forums. They can't use these funds or use state property for electioneering, which includes activities that are in support or in opposition to the election of candidates to a public office.
This policy, the student political rights policy, has been developed with the support of the students and to guide them in their political activities this fall.
This policy is not intended to limit student rights in any way, but is instead meant to protect the exercise of such rights. The policy is effective immediately. North Dakota is reporting another 22 positive COVID-19 tests. Nearly 2,000 tests were completed. There are 379 active cases in the state. That's down 93 from yesterday. No new deaths have been reported for the 3rd straight day. The death toll linked to the virus remains at 72. In Minnesota, there are 307 newly reported positive cases, 22 more deaths. The death toll in the state now stands at 1,217. The number of active cases, 2,815. That's a decrease of 555 from yesterday.